So it's been almost a day now since I started playing Goddess of Victory NIKKE, a little over a day. And I gotta say, here's my first impression on this game. I gotta say, it was not what I was expecting. Now, it can be pretty fun, but that fun doesn't last long. We'll go ahead and talk about the positives first because there's gonna be quite some negatives, just like most videos and discussions nowadays. But I'll talk about the positives first. The positive first is I like the art design. It reminds me of a lot of previous games I played before, like Tower of Fantasy, Ark Knights. They show very similar similarities compared to those games. That's one thing I like about it. Another thing I like about this game is that this is my first idle game I've ever played. I never played AFK Arena, so I don't know much about those games. Is that there's no AP. So I was gonna say there's no stamina, but there's no AP, right? I like that in the sense that I'm not forced to just log in, dump some stamina off, and log off if I really need to. I can pretty much play whenever I want. Now I should log in before my outpost defense hits 100%. Should do that definitely. But most of the time, you can definitely grab this in time before it caps out, assuming you log in that day, and you should be okay. But the best part about it is that I'm not stressed out about logging in because there's no AP. Usually games, people think that a lot of stamina is, or stamina system is bad because, or is good because it makes you limited play. I personally don't like stamina because I don't like force like having that mindset of I gotta log in to play the game, right? Now I shouldn't have this mindset, but I do have this mindset. But without stamina, I don't have to force myself to log in if I really don't want to. Like if I go into campaign right now, I'm at like what 5:15 right now. I can do this whenever I want. I don't have to do it right now. I can do it whenever I want. Just clear it once and you're good to go, right? I don't have to do this right now. So that's one of the positives I like about no stamina system. I don't have to do that. Now, I think that talks about most of the positives I want. This is an interesting game. I will say that the map movements and stuff is cool and all. We'll go ahead and talk about the negatives because I'm pretty sure some people here are wanting to talk about the negatives. So to start this off, I'll tell you guys as of right now. Primarily, I play gacha games for the gacha, and this gacha is probably one of the worst gacha in terms of like systems, monetization, rates I've ever seen. And I ever played. I played quite a lot of bad rate scheming for like Grand Blue has a convoluted pool. I'll talk about that in a bit. I played Soccer Spirits back when legendary players were like less than 0.1% or something. This game is on par, if not worse than those games in terms of rates. It is disgusting, especially if you want a specific character. It is really bad. So, in case you guys for some reason don't know, I'll go ahead and talk with you guys. So, we get these gems up here. You get these things. Now, don't get me wrong, I have like 26 pulls right now, and I have probably done like 70 pulls so far, so like 42 of these and 26 of this. So there's about 70 pulls in about 1.5 days or so, or 1 day. It's not that bad, right? But it's bad in the sense that these are mostly one-time material, and I don't like that because I can't really gauge how generous this game is if they do this one-time gotcha thing. Now, as of right now, for dailies, they give us like what 100 gems for doing the 100 or the 100 point thing, or that's the weekly. This right here gives you 100 points, 100 gems right here. And weekly gives you one recruiter ticket, which is like 300 gems, and this right here, so it's another 300 gems, so like 600. And you get these high quality molds as well too, so you get that. But that's one thing I don't like is that this game doesn't give you much to work with at all. Now I know you don't have to get all these things. You don't have it doesn't have to be generous. I get it, right? And time and stuff like that, but I play most of these games for gacha, right? So in terms of gacha systems, I don't like how much you get, especially since this company Shift Up came from Destiny's Child. Now I never played Destiny's Child, but I'm aware that Destiny's Child is very generous by a long shot compared to this game. So it's really weird that they went with this very greedy approach compared to what they had prior to this game, Destiny's Child, which did fairly well, I believe. I didn't see much people talk bad things about Destiny's Child. It was just basically there. It wasn't like super popular, but it wasn't like a terrible game. But it was just really interesting that they went with this approach for the gacha because it's just the rates are insane. Now, to the rates, I'll go ahead and talk with you guys about that. So, if you guys don't know, rares are 53%, SRs are 43%, and then you have SSRs are 4%. Now, I have wishlist on right now, so you can't really see all these rates up. But if you guys don't have rates up for wishlist, it's 0.09 for most of these girls. And for pilgrims, which are the tops, like the top 6, well, like the really rare six characters in the game, Haran, Snow White, Noah, Scarlet, Isabel, and Rapunzel, they are 0.083%, which is a 1 in 1200 chance. It is very low. So when you combine the fact that some of the best characters in this game that are pilgrims are 0.0383, which is 1 in 1200 chance, and you get basically no pulls. I've played for a full day now. I have 70 pulls. Yeah, it's kind of weird. There's also a dupe system. I'm not going to talk too much about that. It's not mandatory, but it will help out a lot. So that's one thing I don't like about it. The pool is very convoluted. I counted already. There's 44 SSRs if you don't have wishlist in this pool. It is a lot. But if you guys don't do 40 pulls right away, yeah, there is a lot of SSRs in there. But once you get the wish list, though, it's decent, but pilgrims are still very rare, which I don't like. And then you have the bad rates, or the bad amount of gems you get. Yeah, that's one thing. That's the main thing about this game that I don't like is the monetization. There's other problems as well, too. I will say that this is it's my first idle game. The squad development, I'm not like a big fan of now. I didn't do the most optimal route. Now I'm aware of like people saying like get 2 or 3 SS or SRs to like very high levels and synchronize those to your other characters to get better advantage. I'm aware of that. I didn't do it, but I'm aware of that. I don't like that. I like splitting up my like upgrades equally aside from Scarlet obviously, but I like doing that. But it's not like the most efficient route. The most efficient route I can do is just taking the elites, getting them the highest possible, and then you synchronize those to your other characters. I think that's just a very weird kind of playstyle. Like it rewards people for not investing into their main characters most of the time. Well, you kind of can, but it's just like it's a different approach of investing, which I'm not like a big fan of. Like maxing or getting very high level purples diffuse into your SSRs is just, or synchronize into your SSRs is just weird. It's just weird overall. So there's that. Another thing I don't like about this game is that there's very low count for friends list and guilds. So as of right now, if you guys don't know, the friends list is 30. Now I'm not capped out right now, but I can be capped out really fast if I just post my ID into like my Discord or something or my YouTube. By the way, if you guys want to add me, there you guys go. I'm on NA server. Go for it. Probably cap out by tomorrow. 30 cap is really low. I'm used to playing games which has like 50 or more. It's much better there. But 30 is just way too low for me. And then the one thing I don't like is the union cap. There is a cap of 20 right now. Now I'm aware that you can get higher caps by leveling up the guild. But I just don't know why they can't start off with like 30 or 40. It would be much better. It's just it's just weird. Now I'm aware that like not everyone has an easy time to get people in their guild. Like not everyone's a YouTuber or some kind of celebrity. It's very difficult. But it really doesn't hurt to have more open slots available if everyone wants to be in the same guild, right? Guild for the most part is kind of lacking. Like there's no way to actually talk to your guild members. I can't really talk to them unless I say like do your dailies or something, right? I say that and and then that's pretty much all I can say to talk with my guild or union. But like they can't talk to me, which is weird. I hate that. I don't like that at all. That's also another thing. Um, but I think that's most of it. There's also codes. I know this game gives out a lot of codes. I don't know why, but codes expire. Like I know a few games that do that. I think Genshin Impact does that. But when you go ahead and punch in like these codes, you go like notice right here. You go to um the key thing right here. You type in these codes. Some of them are very limited. Now you don't need these things, but when you put down like 1,000 gems behind these codes and you can't get them, like what's the point, right? At least make it so it's time limited. I think a time limit is much fairer compared to a set limit. Like make it so it's like a week available, so people that start a little bit late doesn't get screwed over. Much better compared to that. Um, and also pricing. I think this last thing I want to talk about pricing. So I'm not a whale. I never whaled in any of the games I play. I spend a fair amount or I don't spend at all. But I think as of right now, pulls in this game is about 10 pulls for $40. Unless you get the very big packages. My friend who's a big whale in this game informed me that the big packages is about $3.16 for one pull. Now that's about average for most gacha games. Most gacha games, at least on the upper scale of pricing, is about $10 10 pulls for $30. This game is $40 for 10 pulls. And when you have abysmal rates, like in these recruits right here, it gets really bad. Like my friend right now, he's so far in, he's like 20,000 squad score or something. He doesn't have a Haran or a Scarlet, and he spent so much on the game already. It's just these rates are really low, and the pricing is just terrible. Like he told me, if he was aware of how terrible the rates were, he would have re-rolled. It's just that bad. Like I feel like they could have done a lot more if they gave people more pulls to begin with, because I'm not going to talk about it, but re-rolling in this game is really bad. I spent quite some time on it. Now, re-rolling is one of those debatable things, but I did it because I was aware. When I saw those rates, I was like, yeah, we're gonna have to roll. We're gonna have to re-roll. It was not fun, but yeah. It's just these rates are terrible, and the pricing is just crazy like that. There's also like these gems as well too. Like some gems that you buy aren't the ones for specific banners. I don't know much about that, but that's also another thing people talk about. It's just this cash shop is just really weird. Like the way they have it on day one is just it's not like clear. It's not clear, and it's very like baity. There's also like a flash pop up as well too. It's like, hey, spend $1 to get 2 pulls or something. It's like, is this necessary? Why can't you just put it in like the cash shop and have it like reset every hour or something? I don't know. That's just me though. But that's just my main gimmicks about this game. There's also the fact that manual dragon aiming in this game is like really horrendous. I'm not gonna talk much about it, but it is. If you guys played manual in this game, you guys are aware of how bad the aiming is. It's clunky, very clunky, and yeah, that's pretty much it. That's all. That's my main takeaway about this game. I'm still gonna keep playing it. I am having somewhat fun with it every now and then when I'm not gated by mats or something. It's a pretty fun game. It's not a game I'll take super seriously though. Like I was coming into this game thinking I'm gonna be extremely like hardcore about it, or not hardcore about it, but I'm gonna put like more attention, focus into this game. Now I'm not really like concerned about that. Now I'm just like playing just to have fun or whatever, and just go along with it. So that's pretty much my first impression about this game. Again, it's pretty much what everyone thought about the first time around. A lot of people are talking about how this game is like leaving a bad taste in their mouth or something. So it's nothing different compared to what those people are talking about. I try to give some positives to the game. I do like the art. I do like that there's no stamina. One of my favorite things about this game. It's just that a lot of the content is lacking, and the pricing with gems and monetization and rates and the convoluted pool that's on par with like some other gacha games out there. Like, who has 44 SSRs on release, right? It's just, it's crazy. Crazy. So that's my first impression about the game. Hope you guys liked the video. Thank you guys for watching. And as always, I'll see you guys in the next video.